so lonely. If you leave me, let me down slowly. Let me down.
Middle school sex ed teachers, what has been the funniest or best question asked? When you put on your pants, where does your pecker go? One of the guys answered Narnia.
Gone, reduced to atoms.
This kills the man.
Former student here, I had a classmate ask, if it feels so good, why do people scream? Solid question indeed.
Sounds like someone was traumatized from overhearing their parents going at it.
I remember in my middle school sex ed this kid goes, what's the plural of penis? Penises or penii?
I like to think it's panini.
I ain't shoving a panini up my butt though.
Not doing that again.
So when are we gonna practice this? 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, my teacher made us do role play in 7th grade. It was about how to resist peer pressure, but that's not what we thought.
My class had to put condoms on bananas.
Did the bananas taste like condoms afterwards, or did you throw them away?
I read this as did the condoms taste like bananas. Got confused about what the second part of the hands-on exercise might have been.
There were only 4 bananas, so we just threw them away sadly, haha. But I don't think they tasted like condoms.
If my penis gets hard, will it break? Classmate.
I mean, it can.
In the South, so we were shown some of those pictures of people with sexually translated diseases to scare us off sex. One was a picture of a girl with some bad gonorrhea on her eye. The instructor said something to the tune of she probably got some semen on her hand and later rubbed her eye, without missing a beat. A kid in the back of the class said, "No, man, that beat took a nut to the face." It was wonderful.
Quote, in the South, so we were shown some of those pictures of people with sexually transmitted diseases to scare us off sex. To be fair, we got those same pictures up here in the very liberal or democratic Washington state. This was over 20 years ago.
I almost feel like that's fine, as long as they're getting comprehensive sex ed. By all means tell them factual things, and don't lie about probability of sexually transmitted diseases or pregnancy or shame them. But a little OB, I'd better keep it in my pants or use condoms. I don't like thinking about that picture of a sexually transmitted disease. Probably isn't a bad thing for a bunch of horny high schoolers.
Quote, nah, man, that beep took a nut to the face. Savage.
Not the teacher, but a bystander. When I was in 8th grade, we had this health teacher who was generally liked and considered to be hot. He was probably in his late 20s. So we do the sex unit, and he throws in at the end that it is best to wait until marriage to have sex. Pretty sure he had to say that. This girl, on her dare, raised her hand, looked him dead in the eye and said, "You didn't do that though, did you?" It was so funny, but looking back I feel bad for him.
You'd be surprised how much kids ask teachers beep like this. I've been asked about my experience with sex, drugs, stealing, fighting, etc. I was even propositioned with a threesome by 2 girls. Basically, anytime there's more than 12 seconds of free time, one of these questions comes up.
I wasn't surprised, exactly, but I definitely feel bad for teachers of middle and high schoolers. I was one of the kids who would say ask awkward beep like that to laugh out loud.
Not a question, but this dialogue took place in our class years ago. Teacher, we're gonna be using the scientific words for things, so today I'll let you guys say the words you use to get it out of your system. Class. Silence. One kid. Beep hole. Class. Erupts with laughter.
Ours made us say penis over and over until no one laughed at it. That took a minute.
Damn, your teacher made y'all play the penis game. That's wild.
I took a sex ed class in the South, so they teach abstinence. The teacher gave the stats of all the different types of birth control and their percentage of preventing pregnancies. She then asked the class, what is the only way method of contraceptive that prevents pregnancies 100 of the time? I'll give you a hint, it starts with a couple moments of silence go by, then the kid behind me says, anal.
I mean, he's not wrong.
That was my thought.
I thought that was how lawyers were born.
There's no connection between the rectal canal and the vaginal pouch. Semen must enter the vaginal pouch for you to get pregnant. Michael Rietano, MD, physician in residence for the Men's Health Service Roman, tells Health. Still, there are a few very unlikely exceptions to this rule. For example, if semen released during anal sex makes its way into the vagina via your or your partner's hand. Here's how it can happen. If you have unprotected anal sex and semen does leak out of the anus, the semen can possibly enter the vaginal pouch and result in a pregnancy, says Dr. Rietano. That said, being a little careful and also using a condom during anal sex can help you get that under control. And we can't stress enough how slim the chances of this happening are. Another exception would be if a woman has a very rare medical condition called erectovaginal fistula, according to Dr. Rietano. Erectovaginal fistula is an opening between the vagina and the rectum. It can be caused by Crohn's disease, an injury that occurs during childbirth, cancer found in the pelvic area, or radiation treatment. Surgery is needed to repair the fistula. If you have anal sex while suffering from erectovaginal fistula, it could result in pregnancy, since the condition creates an opening between the rectum and the vagina through which sperm can theoretically travel. But anal and vaginal sex both would probably be out of the question if you had a ectovaginal fistula. Gas and feces and secretions can go from the rectum to the vaginal pouch. The person generally has such difficult hygiene issues that any form of anal or vaginal intercourse is not feasible, Dr. Rietano says. Not a sex ed class, but seems like it'd fit in this thread. My mom told me about a time she was days away from giving birth to me in the summer heat. She went to a public pool to cool off and get some baby pressure off of her hips. A group of teenage girls noticed how pregnant she was and sat next to her asking questions about the baby. After a few minutes, my mom gets up to get in the pool. One of the girls hops up, looking visibly frightened, and asks my mom, "Aren't you worried you're going to drown your baby?"
And that's when your mom pulls a tiny snorkel out of her swimsuit and gives the girls a playful wink.
Our bad women's anatomy.
What word beginning with P means a non-sexual relationship? Looking for platonic. Kid. Pointless, miss.
You can have a relationship without having sex. I wouldn't want to, but you can.
Yeah, like the relationship you have with your family.
Wait, you can have a non-sexual relationship with family?
Yeah, but who would want to?
I had the junior high sex ed teacher for math while in senior year, and he had an anonymous sex question box that students could put notes with questions on them that they would be too embarrassed to ask in class. Apparently one girl had asked if she should see a doctor because she was worried about being pregnant after grinding too much at a junior high dance. Not a teacher, but during my middle school we had a little box that we could put anonymous questions into about sex, and they would answer it every week. I'll never forget the look on a teacher's face when someone asked, "Can you tie the foreskin in a knot and use it like a condom?"
No, but you can use it as a pocket.